A crucial expressway that will bypass Delhi was cleared by the cabinet today, which will enormously change the city's pollution graph. That's because thousands of polluting trucks that enter the capital every single day will use that bypass instead. But it's going to take a long time to build.
Every day, more than 80,000 trucks enter the national capital, bringing with them noxious diesel fumes. Many of these trucks aren't even destined for the capital, but simply use the capital's roads as a simple shortcut or a transit route. That may now change. The cabinet today cleared the Eastern Peripheral Expressway bypassing Delhi. Starting at Kundli in Haryana, the Eastern Peripheral Expressway, covering a distance of 135 kilometers, will link Ghaziabad before ending at Palwal.
मंत्री परिषद ने अप्रूवल दिया है, अप्रूवल ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट एंड अवार्ड डिसीजन ऑफ द प्रोजेक्ट ऑफ ईस्टर्न पेरिफेरल हाईवे.
The eastern bypass along with the western one was to have been completed 6 years ago, but has been held up due to lack of clearances and little investor interest. While the western bypass is still only 65% complete, construction has yet to even start for the eastern bypass, and the cost has shot up from 3,600 crores to more than double.
Yes, it is already very late. This was supposed to be completed by June 2009. That is before the commencement of Commonwealth Games.
Till then, the haze of toxic fumes continues to build on the streets of the capital as thousands of trucks pass through the city every night.
It's a late but welcome news. I believe that we should have got this express highway done much before. But now that Supreme Court is pushing this issue, I think a significant portion of trucks that should not come to Delhi, that need not come to Delhi, will bypass Delhi.
Delhi won the dubious distinction of having the worst air last year, according to the World Health Organization. The Supreme Court, which is closely monitoring the progress, wants the Western Expressway complete by next year and the Eastern Bypass by 2018. With Umay Kulsum in New Delhi, Siddharth Pandey for NDTV.
Well, one of the things that we've seen increasingly happen over the past year or so is more and more people coming out and talking about the fact that they're going to leave cities like Delhi because the air pollution levels are just so high, so unbearable that their respiratory system has gone for a toss. Their children are suffering, the elderly in particular have also been victims of this, and so they're moving out. They're willing to leave their homes, their jobs behind, and just start afresh and move to another city. Well, columnist and author Dr. Radha Kumar is somebody who is doing that. She and her daughter, who's just 12 years old, Sushila, are actually also going to be moving out of the national capital because Sushila hasn't been keeping well. They're both joining us tonight, or I think on what is one of their farewell events this evening in the national capital. Radha Kumar, let me ask you, what a difficult decision to have to make. How did it come to this?
Well, it's taken me about a year, Nidhi, to decide. And I should say that my first concern was to get Sushila out. I myself have taken some leave from my work. I will be coming back because, you know, I love my work. But you know, when you talk about air pollution, it's not just air pollution. Our water is awful. The groundwater, as I think Sunita Narayan's CSE showed quite a long time ago, is poisoned. I came back to Delhi in 2002, and even right from then I started to notice that breathing was difficult, that my hair was falling out, and a series of other things that are hidden pollutants were affecting me. And of course, when Sushila came along, well, we saw it year after year, and finally it got to a point where I felt that it was irresponsible, frankly, for her to stay here, and there was no choice. I really had to do something. Now, let me say, there are many, you know, I hope not everyone will feel this is a prescription. I think Sushila's immunity perhaps was weaker, and her vulnerability was greater perhaps than many other children. there are children in Delhi who are not suffering.
No, obviously it does vary from person to person, and how it affects their health. I mean, I know people who've been dealing with an allergic cough because of this air pollution level for 6 or 7 months. And Sushila, how do you feel about this? You're 12 years old, you've grown up in Delhi. What happened? Can you describe, what you've been going through as a result of all of this?
I've been tired and I feel like I have headaches and I've been coughing and sneezing.
And it just doesn't go away, does it?
Don't feel right. No.
She had to be on steroids for almost 3 weeks in the winter, which was a lot. And every time the steroids seemed to be curing her, the minute she went off, she fell ill again.
And Radha, it was very clear as far as the doctors were concerned that this was linked to the air quality in Delhi?
Yes. But as I say, it's not just the air quality.
Yeah,
we discovered she had a huge vitamin D deficiency, and that is because perhaps the sunlight here is not giving us the vitamins we require, ozone layer problems and so on.
Right. When you now hear about the government possibly waking up to the enormity of the problem of pollution, do you think we're doing enough? I mean, you see it at close quarters every day there's something or the other that's coming out, or are we still largely clueless? I mean, just the other day the government was telling the National Green Tribunal judge that they didn't know what caused most of Delhi's pollution, and the judge was really irritated. That came as a surprise to me, that we still don't have a handle on why it's happening.
I mean, I can only imagine that there is a certain lack, a laziness perhaps, because I'm sure that the scientists who live in Delhi do know what are the reasons. I'm a layman, I'm not a scientist, but I can tell you that I saw those CSE reports 10 years ago that said that the groundwater had far too much arsenic in it, or had arsenic in the first place. I've seen reports that have shown us not only the air quality, but the pollutants that go into the river. Indeed, the Supreme Court, I think 12 years ago, banned factories from putting their pollutants into the river, but they have violated that ban with impunity. And that's just stuff I know from reading the newspapers.
Well, Sushila,
you remember the great Coca-Cola story?
Yeah, exactly. Sushila, I mean, how do you feel about moving away from Delhi? Are you going to miss Delhi, or are you happy to leave?
Kind of. I think I'll miss it and will be happy.
You'll miss it and you'll remain happy.
Miss your friends.
I will miss my friends.
All right. Well, I hope you can at least visit, and I do hope you feel better when you move out, and that this is the right decision for you. Thank you very much, Radha Kumar and Sushila, for joining us and sharing your story tonight. And we will continue to focus on this issue of air pollution in particular throughout the next week as well, with people, with doctors and others, and hopefully talk about solutions as well. Thanks very much. Well, Varanasi, the Prime Minister's constituency, has consistently seen unsafe levels of air pollution for the last 10 years. And the most shocking aspect is that the problem itself has figured nowhere in the state government's agenda in Uttar Pradesh. My colleague Sunetra Chaudhary went on a recce of the city today with the Regional Pollution Board head, who explained what was going on.
We're at the famous Godhulia Chowk of Banaras. It's a chowk which is known for all that is associated with Banaras. The famous kachoris, the lassi, and there's something which it's become infamous for as well, and that is the pollution. Now, it's been raining for the last 24 hours, and perhaps that's why it is almost bearable today. Now, with me is, of course, Dr. T.N. Singh. He is from the UP Pollution Control Board, and he tells me that for the last 10 years, it's never been a day, very rarely has there been days that the pollution has been of acceptable levels.
The main cause of this air pollution begins with number of vehicles who are entering in the city area with pilgrimages for Godhulia Chowk, at Vishnath temple for Ganga Darshan, for bathing of Ganga river. It's the main chowk here. All the things Ganga and Vishnath temple are here. Therefore, number of tourists coming from outside the Banaras area and for marketing.
So you're telling me that tourists and the fact that so many people come to Banaras, that is a death knell for it. That is one of the big factors. Apart from that, Dr. Singh also tells me there are many other things which are irrelevant and which are causing so much pollution. One, of course, is the fact that these roads, just look at these roads over here. They're very narrow. This main road, this is one of the arterial roads of the city, and you can barely have single lane traffic going by. You have rickshaws, you have two-wheelers. I'm told by the government that the official number is 4 lakhs vehicular traffic, but only two-wheelers is about more than 4 lakhs, is about 5 lakhs. So it's vehicular, so it's not industrial pollution which is causing here.
Number of vehicles which are traveling in the city area are much more than the prescribed limit. But due to narrow roads and during power failures, number of diseases which are being operated.
This is very important, and in fact it is to do with the Prime Minister Narendra Modi becoming in charge of this constituency. Before, there used to be about 12 hours of power cuts in Banaras. Since this became a VIP constituency, it's now got limited to about 4 hours of power cuts, which has helped reduce pollution because gensets are not being used that much. So that's one good thing. So other thing you must tell me that the ring road, the Prime Minister wants to have a ring road, 4-lane ring road. That will help reduce pollution.
Yeah, through ring road, number of vehicles which are coming in the city area, if they go outside the city area, pollution load will decrease. But it will take time, minimum 2 years will take, and after that pollution load can be decreased.
So that's what people here in the city are hoping for. The ring road comes, the metro comes. Many people are very, very scared about the metro and they say it's almost impossible. But the thing is, the metro people say, look, if you can have metro in a congested area like Old Delhi, why can't you have it here in Banaras? What people are also hoping for is that if you look around the city, what characterizes Banaras is that it gets very congested and dirty. You have lots of stalls, food stalls, all lined up along the road. A lot of it has been washed off today because it's been raining. But I feel all of it lends to the kind of congestion. While we are going in the rickshaw over here, you'll have two-wheelers and sometimes cows and other animals also coming in, which all leads to the congestion. And that's what Dr. Singh is telling us, that perhaps what's planned, what they want to make the kind of Kobe-like, turn Banaras into Kyoto, that's what they're aiming for, that it will really bring down the pollution.
All right, Sunitra reporting there from Varanasi. Do join us again tomorrow. We'll see you then. Good night.